The seas are stirring again. Shadows gather on the horizon, and the world's greatest treasure hunt is far from over. The Straw Hat Pirates have returned, and this time their journey takes them deeper into danger, into mystery, and into battles. Unlike anything they've faced before, Season 2 of One Piece opens like the calm before a storm. The world seems to breathe, holding its breath as the Straw Hat crew sails toward destiny. Luffy, with his boundless spirit and unshakable dream, leads his friends into uncharted waters. Beside him, Zoro sharpens his blades for the battles ahead. Sangi keeps his eyes on the horizon with fire in his heart, and Nami, the navigator who has weathered storms within and without, charts their course with more determination than ever. Each member of this crew carries not just their skills, but their scars, their promises, and their unbreakable bond. But this time, the seas won't be kind. Beyond the horizon waits an enemy whose power and cunning could crush entire kingdoms. The world government's grip tightens, and whispers of hidden agents, shadowy organizations, and unstoppable warlords ripple across the seas. This is no longer just a voyage for adventure. It is survival against forces that dwarf the Straw Hats' strength. Yet what makes this story timeless is not simply the danger, but the hope carried on every wave. We see Luffy laugh in the face of darkness, a laugh so pure that it shakes the spirits of those around him. His dream of becoming king of the pirates is not just about treasure. It's about freedom, about defying the chains the world tries to bind him with. That laughter, that courage becomes the fire that lights the way for his crew and for us. And as the seas open before them, we are drawn into the legend of Alabasta, a desert kingdom teetering on the edge of ruin, a land where betrayal hides in the sand and a people cry out for salvation. It is here the Straw Hats will find allies who will test their loyalty and enemies who will test their resolve. The fate of an entire kingdom rests on their shoulders, and the choices they make could change the course of history. The trailer teases fragments, quick flashes of sandstorms swallowing armies whole, the piercing eyes of a princess desperate to save her people, and the cold, calculating smile of a man who believes he is untouchable. Behind every glimpse lies a story of trust and betrayal, of hope and despair, and of a crew that refuses to bow to tyranny. This is not just a continuation of a journey. This is the rise of a legend. One Piece Season 2 is where the story takes its first true step into epic scale. Friendships will be tested, alliances will be forged, and the line between hero and outlaw will blur. The seas will roar, kingdoms will tremble, and the Straw Hats will carve their names deeper into history. The question is no longer whether Luffy and his crew can survive. It's whether the world is ready for them. The seas are wide, but not every wave carries freedom. In the shadows of the Grand Line, a new power begins to rise. The trailer for One Piece Season 2 does not whisper, it roars, giving us fragments of a story that promises to be darker, sharper, and heavier than anything we have seen before. What lies ahead is no longer a carefree adventure. The world is revealing its claws. The first glimpses from the trailer strike like thunder. We see sandstorms swirling over golden deserts, a kingdom drowning in fear, and soldiers marching under banners that no longer protect the people but enslave them. At the center of it all is a figure both feared and respected, Sir Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, calm, calculating, and merciless. His presence spreads through the trailer like poison through water. He is no pirate chasing treasure. He is a man who plays with nations like pieces on a board. For the first time, the Straw Hats are not facing a rival crew or a sea monster. They are walking straight into the jaws of political power and manipulation. But even in this storm, hope takes shape. A fleeting glimpse reveals a young woman standing tall against the tide of betrayal. Princess Vivi, her eyes carry the weight of an entire kingdom. Her voice cracks with desperation, and yet her courage never falters. She steps into the story not as a helpless royal, but as someone willing to fight alongside the Straw Hats, willing to risk everything for her people. It is her plea that pulls the crew into a war not of their choosing, a fight far bigger than themselves. The trailer teases us with moments that linger, Zoro, locked in a clash that tests his will more than his blade. Sangi, his fury ignited not just for his crew but for the innocent lives threatened around him. And Nami, standing in the desert heat, her maps and her knowledge becoming weapons against the chaos. Every frame tells us that this is not the playful adventure we began with. This is war dressed as survival. And then there is Luffy. In the middle of every storm, his spirit shines. The trailer shows him standing before Crocodile, the desert winds cutting across his face, yet his smile never breaks. That smile is defiance, a reminder that even against impossible odds he will not bow. His dream burns brighter when tested. And it is in this clash that we see what truly makes him dangerous, not his devil fruit. Not his fists, but the unshakable belief that freedom belongs to everyone. The pacing of the trailer builds like a drum beat. Quiet moments of doubt flash into explosions of chaos, battles in the sand, tears in the rain, laughter that pierces despair. We see the crew falling, struggling, rising again. The world presses down on them, but every blow only makes them rise stronger. This is not a tale of pirates stealing gold. This is a tale of people stealing hope back from the hands of tyranny. And as the images fade, a message lingers. The seas are not fair. The world is not just, but the Straw Hats will fight until justice is forced to look them in the eye. Season 2 is not a continuation, it is a transformation. The journey that began with a ragtag crew chasing dreams now becomes the story of legends that refuse to break. The trailer ends with silence, but it is a silence that speaks louder than any shout. It tells us that what comes next will shape not only the Straw Hats' fate, but the fate of everyone who sails these seas. And as the screen fades to black, we are left with one truth carved in our hearts. The adventure is no longer just theirs. It belongs to all of us who dare to dream alongside them. The desert winds settle, the dust of battle hangs heavy in the air, and for a moment it feels as though the Straw Hats stand alone against a world far greater than themselves. Yet just as the weight of this story presses down, another revelation crashes like a tidal wave. The trailer for Season 2 may have set the seas ablaze, but the voice that followed shook the entire fandom. Netflix has confirmed One Piece Season 3. It is not a rumor whispered on the docks, not speculation tossed about by fans hungry for more. It is a declaration. While Season 2 has yet to set sail, the next voyage is already secured. And this changes everything. When a studio commits to a story this vast, it sends a message. This is no longer just an adaptation. This is a legacy in the making. Netflix has looked at the impossible dream of adapting One Piece, a tale that has stretched across decades, and declared that the journey will not stop at Alabasta. It will not end with Crocodile's fall, nor will it fade as the credits roll. The sails have already been raised for the next horizon. What does Season 3 mean? For the uninitiated, it is simply another season of pirates and battles. But for those who have glimpsed the scope of Eiichiro Oda's masterpiece, it is the promise of skies waiting to be conquered, of enemies that lurk in shadows yet unseen, and of arcs that test not just the Straw Hats' strength, but the very bonds that hold them together. Season 2 already promises to push the crew beyond anything they have faced before. Kingdoms in peril, warlords of the sea, the truth of friendship and sacrifice carved into every step. Yet even as we brace for that storm, Season 3 looms like a thunderhead on the horizon. It whispers of Skypiea, of ancient mysteries buried in the clouds, of enemies who will bend the seas and the skies alike. It whispers of laughter, of tears, of moments that will echo far beyond the screen. This confirmation is more than an announcement. It is a rallying cry. For years, fans of One Piece wondered if this story could ever survive the translation from ink and animation to flesh and film. Season 1 silenced the doubt, proving that the heart of Luffy's dream could shine through any medium. Season 2 now prepares to solidify it, and Season 3? It ensures that this story is no fleeting flame. It is a fire destined to burn brighter with every step. Imagine it, the crew standing at the edge of the sky, looking upward toward an ocean of clouds where secrets lie hidden and gods claim dominion. the laughter of Luffy ringing as he stretches toward the impossible, the courage of Nami as she charts a course no map has ever held, the steel of Zoro as he faces blades born of legends. These are not just promises of a future season. They are visions of what awaits those who dare to sail alongside them. Netflix's confirmation also carries another meaning: trust in the story. Trust in the cast who have brought these characters to life. Trust in the audience who have embraced this dream with open arms. It is a pact between creators and fans, a vow that the seas will not be abandoned halfway, that this journey will be given the space it deserves to unfold. As fans, this announcement does more than excite us. It binds us to the adventure even deeper. For every tear shed in Alabasta, we know another awaits in Skypiea. For every laugh shared on deck, we know greater trials will soon test that joy. Season 3 is the horizon we did not think we would see so soon, and its promise electrifies every moment of what comes before. The world of One Piece is not small. It is vast, sprawling, endless. To adapt even a fraction of it is a daring feat. To commit to it, season after season, is an act of faith. And with this confirmation, the impossible feels a little closer. The seas feel a little wider. The dream of following the Straw Hats all the way to the end begins to feel real. So as the trailer for Season 2 fades to black, the echoes of battle still ringing, another truth rises louder than any storm: this journey will not end here. Netflix has spoken, the sails are already raised. Season 3 is coming, and the seas have never felt more alive. The seas of speculation are louder than any storm. The moment Netflix confirmed Season 3, fans across the world erupted like cannon fire. Social feeds flooded with theories, artwork, and endless questions. Which arcs will be covered? Who will join the crew next? And how far will this adaptation dare to go? Each post, each thread, each whisper feels like a wave crashing against the same shore. The hunger for more One Piece has never been stronger. Season 2 already promises to change the shape of this world. The Straw Hats will face betrayal, kingdoms on the brink of collapse, and villains who treat lives as nothing but tools. But the knowledge of a third season changes how we look at it. Every moment feels heavier. Every scene feels like a step towards something even greater. Fans know this story does not end with Crocodile. It only begins there. In the corners of the internet, voices rise. Skypiea is coming. Blackbeard will cast his shadow. The seas are preparing for war. These are not empty hopes, they are visions of arcs beloved for decades, arcs that shaped the very soul of One Piece. For longtime fans, the promise of Season 3 is like watching destiny itself unfold. For newcomers, it is an invitation to stay aboard, to keep sailing, to trust that this ship is heading toward wonders still unseen. But speculation is not just about arcs, it is about characters. Who will embody the next Elias? Which actors will step into roles that fans have carried in their hearts for years? Can the adaptation capture the skies above the seas where gods walk and legends fall? Each unanswered question adds fuel to the fire, and fans, in their millions, stand ready to debate, to dream, and to defend the story they love. Still, beyond the excitement, there is something deeper. Every great saga is built on anticipation, on the promise of tomorrow. One Piece has always been about the next horizon, the next island, the next fight, the next laugh. And now, with Season 3 confirmed, that promise becomes tangible. The horizon stretches wider, the seas feel endless once more. The Straw Hats themselves embody this spirit. In the face of overwhelming odds, they do not falter. They laugh. They fight. They rise again. And fans mirror them, taking that same energy into their own lives. It is not just a story on a screen, it is a reminder that dreams, no matter how impossible, are worth chasing. That freedom, no matter how distant, is worth fighting for. As we look toward the future, the excitement sharpens into something almost unshakable. Season 2 will be the crucible, testing the bonds of this crew and carving their legend into stone. Season 3 will be the flight beyond imagination, where even the sky is no longer a limit. Together, they create a momentum that feels unstoppable. a storm that will carry this adaptation forward season after season, until the final treasure is found. And so, the story ends here only to begin again. The waves crash, the sails snap in the wind, and the horizon glows with possibility. Season 2 arrives in 2026, promising deserts, betrayal, and the unbreakable laughter of pirates who refuse to quit. And Season 3 already waits, its secrets hidden in the clouds above. The seas are not calm. The world is not kind. But the Straw Hats sail on, carrying every dream with them, every hope, every heart that dares to follow. Their journey is our journey. Their fight is our fight. And together, we move toward the day when the impossible becomes reality. So the question is no longer whether One Piece can endure on Netflix. The question is how far this voyage will take us. The adventure has only just begun. And the greatest treasure of all, the one hidden not on an island, but within the spirit of this story, waits for those brave enough to keep sailing. The seas roar. The world watches, the legend grows,